Chris Hahn is here, host of the Aggressive Progressive podcast, also a NewsNation political contributor. Nice to see you in studio, my friend.
Nice
Welcome.
to see you, too.
Thank you very much. All right. He going to do it?
I don't know. I doubt it. I think it's going to be met with the same fate that Donald Trump's executive actions were on the border. Lots of court cases, things being rejected. He should stick to his guns and say Congress should act here. There was a perfectly good compromise reached. In fact, it was far to the right.
I understand that, but this is a problem that a president can have a lot of effect on. Donald Trump had a lot of effect on it by executive order. I think we can agree on that.
Well, because of COVID and the use of the executive
but still, the numbers dropped significantly even before COVID. I guess this is the question. President Biden's caught on a few issues, right? He's caught on Gaza with his progressive base, on climate change, on student loans, not popular with the working class Americans and swing voters, forgiving those, and he's caught on the border. Which does he choose?
Well, look, I think he's got to figure out a way around all of them. The one that's the most problematic for him is Gaza, because it could impact him in Michigan, right? Michigan was won by about 150,000 votes. Trump won it by about 10,000 votes. You lose Dearborn, Michigan. You lose that large Muslim and Palestinian population in Michigan. You may lose the election. So he's got to figure out a way to bring those voters back into his camp.
But doesn't that apply? And look, the fear always is, right? It's not that people are going to suddenly, a bunch of Arab Americans in Dearborn are going to vote for Donald Trump.
No, they're just
not going to vote. Rasmussen polling on climate change, elites versus everybody else. Support for rationing, fight to climate change. 89% of elites support rationing. Those are people who make over $150,000 a year. People like you, right? Postgraduate degrees, okay? They live in an urban center. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm trying to say.
I don't live in an urban center. I live outside.
Okay, 89% of elites support rationing to fight climate change. Just 63% of regular voters oppose it. So it gives you sort of this stark difference. But this is what I thought was interesting. President Biden yesterday at a fundraiser. We have a crazy SOB, that guy Putin and others. We always have to be worried about a nuclear conflict. But the existential threat to humanity is climate. Again, talking to a progressive base, this is not where everyday Americans are.
Well, climate is a threat, right? The question is, how do we resolve it without destroying our economy and creating hardships for regular Americans?
But if you're a normal American working a job, dealing with a 20% rise in the cost of groceries, okay, and seeing immigrants come in and get $10,000 debit cards and $64 a day for food, like they are in Boston.
Best thing that ever happened in New York was letting immigrants do their own cooking. So I'm all for them buying groceries and cooking and then starting restaurants. Please.
But really, you think about if you're a normal American, you hear the president talking in that way and talking about the border and not doing the executive action on the border. How does that play with swing voters?
Look, swing voters are going to vote about pocketbook issues, right? I don't think the border is a pocketbook issue.
Really?
I don't think the border. Look, I was just very much involved with a race in New York where there was where the Republicans spent the entire campaign slamming the Democrat on immigration policy, and they lost by 8 points, right? Because that was not what's really on swing voters' minds. It's a great base bait. It's a great way to amp up the GOP base, but you're not winning people in the middle on it, no matter what they think about Biden. If the economy is headed in the right direction and Trump is the candidate, they are not voting on immigration. They're voting on the future of this economy, the future of this country, and whether or not Joe Biden can protect issues like a woman's right to choose or bring it back.
It's funny. I thought where you were headed with this is, progressives may be turned off by all of these issues if Biden moves to the center, but the single greatest motivating factor ever for Democrats is Donald Trump on the ballot.
Absolutely. They're the one unifying force, right? You referenced AOC at the beginning of the show. Here's the thing about AOC. She understands that, like, people like Tom Suozzi, who's a moderate who just got elected in New York, may have different views from her. They're not in the same cohort, but they are on the same team, and that's team democracy. And Trump is not on team democracy.
Okay, that's a different conversation, but fair enough.
Sure. All right.
Good to see you, my friend.
Nice
as always. Thanks so much. All right. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.